hit record and start it. Welcome, everyone. You're joining us for the open house of bestbranch.com. My name's Adam Beebe. I'm joined by the seller, Ilya Kryashev. Kryashev?
Krashev, yes.
Pronounced correct? Ilya, please say hi if you would.
Hi, Adam. Hi, everyone.
Thank you for joining us. Everyone who is listening, well, this recording of this is going to be live on Latona's within 24 hours. If you're listening live, and if you haven't already done so, please dial into the audio. You can do that with your phone, or you can do that like I'm doing on my mic and speakers, which is the default. If you have a question, please answer it within the chat functionality of GoToMeeting here. It will be asked verbatim. If it's a revenue question and if we're on traffic, I'm going to hold off on asking that question until we're in that appropriate section. But all questions will be asked, so please type away there. Without further ado, and I'll preface this, these slides, Ilya was kind enough within the past hour and a half to provide March data. So when you go to Latona's, the listing is up to date through March. There's going to be a screenshot here that this presentation was prepared a handful of days ago or whatever it was. So it's not going to have March data on it. But the more important, the listing on Latona's is accurate, meaning it's up to date through last month. And it was a good month. So thank you for sending that over, by the way, Ilya. What we're looking at here is a site that does 100% of its revenue through AdSense. It's, for a lack of a better term, I guess, a directory site, if you will, for financial institutions. It's done quite well. Now the trailing 12 months of profit would be over 30,000, 100,000 ask on it, and Ilya's done a good job with it. So Ilya, here's the aforementioned time where I'm going to put myself on mute. Go into and this is the homepage. Go into the history of the site, just how long it's been live, what you've done since you've had it live. Just take it away from there.
Okay, so the site went live in April 2013. What I've done since then is basically update the core functionality of the site, basically the data, that's the branch data that's on the site. We get a lot of branch info updates on a weekly basis. So that's pretty much what I've been doing to update the site over the past 2 years. So that's basically that.
That's fine. That's good. So this was also placed in the history section. This is if someone, for instance, puts in a new location, New York, it's pulling in branches of its search for Bank of America. Someone put that in. There it is. I mean, this is what it's doing. You've added to the database. I guess how are you accessing the financial institution names? What do you use? Go a little in depth on that.
Basically, it's in the financial institution's interest to have accurate data about their branches, about their business online. So I don't even have to look for the data. They basically come to us. They send in these updates from big banks to the smallest credit union. They monitor these listings and they just send in the updates. All you have to do is verify them and apply them in the backend. And yeah, so there's no need to scrape any data. There's nothing like that going on. It's basically data that's coming directly from.
Okay, that's actually that's actually a part of a prospectus we wrote. Before I forget, and anyone can see this going to our listing, you can request a prospectus on the site. We do need a signed NDA from you, but we'll get that over to you if you haven't signed one already. then I can send you a prospectus upon request. This is a snapshot of the Wayback Machine. It's really discussing what you said. It's a reasonably new site. There was something that popped up on the domain early 2011, but really not much to look at right here. What I think is pretty fascinating about this, or good, we're seeing very a very consistent graph here. I would imagine those are weekdays, and the valleys are weekends. Is that accurate?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay.
The,
Why
the
don't you
valleys,
go ahead? Go ahead.
yeah, the valleys, those are Sundays basically, because most financial institutions are closed on Sundays, so that's what it is.
Okay. Well, it looks remarkably stable regardless, but right, that you're absolutely right. A lot of them are open Saturday. So, um, do you buy any traffic? Why don't you go into a little detail right now as far as what you do for traffic?
Um, Basically, to tell you the truth, nothing at all. This is purely organic Google and other search engine traffic. I haven't done any SEO on this site. I don't buy any traffic. This is purely organic.
All right,
So
good. And
as you can see, the
exactly.
vast majority
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
the vast majority of traffic is from the United States because this is a directory of U.S. financial
Sure.
institutions.
Have you ever tried to, and some of these I'm going to be spacing in questions, not only myself, but from viewers here. Um,
Mhm.
have you ever tried branching out, no pun intended, to financial institutions, say in the UK or in Australia or what have you? Or is this just, it's reasonably new. Have you ever done anything outside the US?
I I've had that idea, but never actually had the time to implement it, to get in contact with the financial institutions in other countries and to actually implement it. But it wouldn't be too hard to add that functionality in the future.
As far as the small credit unions to large, large other institutions contacting you directly, and I
Mhm.
understand the logic. Obviously, they want the exposure. Um,
Mhm.
do you have insight as to how people outside the U.S. financial institutions would that be? I guess that would be applicable there. Do they just email you, or how go a little bit more into detail regarding that?
They they do send in emails, and we have functionality to um, submit branch updates on the branch profile page itself. So that's pretty much what they use to contact us, and also direct emails, and we also have a contact form, a contact us form. So that's the way they contact us. And I guess it would be the same for other countries as well. They would be interested in having accurate data about their branches online. So yeah.
Okay, good. That just as you said, organic search, and which makes sense. Someone says, "Hey, I need this type of bank in this zip code." That's why the vast majority, 81. Oh no, that's new sessions is 81.2. The vast majority, which may very well also be, it looks like that percentage too is organic. Um, have you ever done anything with social media?
Nothing at all. No social media presence whatsoever, actually.
Okay, good. Um, obviously, keywords. You're not buying any of them. This is just naturally occurring. These are all, Navy Federal, obviously, State Employees Credit Union.
Mhm.
These are all recent keyword searches. So it's helpful, and this is also, I think, reassuring that you're not doing anything as it relates to backlinking. These are just naturally occurring.
Right, right.
Have you ever done any backlinking or link exchanges or attempting to do anything like that?
None whatsoever. Since the beginning, been apprehensive about buying links or doing any SEO whatsoever
Hmm.
because Google is pretty strict on that.
Absolutely.
Has been recently, so I haven't done any backlinking whatsoever.
Good. Okay. So this really isn't relevant as far as the breakdown. These are just all naturally occurring stuff. Nothing major since you don't do anything really with backlinking. Some pretty stable stuff here. Um, obviously it's when you deal with traffic having to do with financial information and things of that sort, that's going to be pretty stable, as I think the graph infers here. It's obviously selected for the U.S. This is something anybody can go to SEMrush and pull up. Um, Credit union online. Well, let's look at some of the terms here. Um, you have a lot of, not a lot, but specific institutions that you're ranking in a good position for. You're not
Mhm.
buying anything. It's just kind of an is what it is. So there's not much to look at here. Um, this is really where the meat of the conversation is going to be handled. Some of which you've already touched upon, and everyone listening live and recording. The updated uniques page views are in Latona. So just when you're logged into your account, you can click the unique hyperlink, and you can see the monthly breakdown of everything as it relates to uniques and page views, revenue and expenses for that matter. But I guess my question is, you had a dip in June.
Mhm.
I'm assuming June of it. I know it's June of 2014, but I'm assuming is that some sort of update, and then you had to retool a bit, and then we're
Um,
seeing a steady increase here. What happened from May to June 2014?
this was when I believe this was Panda 3.4, the Google update, the ranking update. Um, I'm guessing it penalized relatively new sites. It was about 1 year old at that time, so it got hit. But I haven't done anything at all to recover traffic. It just recovered by itself naturally.
And one would assume, and it's the case, that the graphs look the same. Obviously, the numbers on the left are in different magnitude of thousands, but the graph is a mirror image. These are views of the uniques here. Again, just different values on the left.
Mhm.
March data is in there. Pretty forward stuff. And what I'm going to do now, Ilya, is this is the admin section. These are going to be the screenshots that you sent us. I'm
Okay.
going to put myself on mute, and you're going to be doing all the talking during these slides. I'll just ask a few right now. If questions come in, I'll ask them
Okay.
regarding the admin, but I'll preface it, state what the site's built on, what platform, and then when you want me to advance to the next slide, just say next, and I'll hit next and just keep talking. So on that, let's go into admin. What's the site built on, and what are we looking at right here, please?
Okay. So the site is built on top of Ruby on Rails. It's a completely custom application. And this is the admin section, also custom. This is basically the admin panel homepage. As you can see, we have functionality to edit specific institutions, add them, edit their name, um, uh, delete them if needed. Um, we have edit branches, which uh, lets us edit their hours, their website, their contact information, and so forth. Review branch corrections is where we get the branch info updates, basically a list of all the updates the institutions and the individual users submit. Branch reviews where users leave reviews and kind of go through them and approve them. And ads is where you add your AdSense ad code So you can basically change the ads at will. And we can go to the next slide. Yeah, so this is how you edit a specific branch. So you have the institution name, institution key, which is used in the branch's URL. You can edit the name, the address, location, the map coordinates, and so on and so forth. And at the bottom we have the hours, which is very important to many users. This is what they come to the site for. Usually they want to get accurate hours of operation for a branch. We can advance. This is how you edit an institution. Basically, this is for Bank of America. If obviously Bank of America doesn't need to be edited, but other institutions change name, and this is where you would do it. Next slide, please. This is how you find an institution to edit. Basically, you start typing in a name, and there's a hint menu that drops down, and you can select one. Then it shows you all the branches, and basically select one to edit. Next one, please. This is a list of reviews, so you go through them, you edit them if need be for if a user mistakenly leaves some personal information like a bank account number or anything of the sort, or maybe filter it for adult language. You can edit the reviews right there and approve them on this screen. Next one, please. This is how the branch information updates look. Users submit address, phone number, hour updates, and anything else they can add in their comments. Anything that gets changed, anything that's different gets highlighted in yellow, so you know exactly what needs to be addressed for each submission. Next one, please. And this is the revenue.
Go ahead, Ilya. I just took myself off mute. Great job with the admin. You were addressing a question or two that came in, so it's fine. Did a great job there. What I'll interject here real quickly, Ilya, and you can expound upon it. Again, March is in there. March is like over 3,000, so I do know that. So it's an upward trend right there. Notice everyone looking at this that these are, it's by $500. You're seeing some pretty, very consistent numbers here, really starting in June. So a lot of people wonder about stability. There's not a lot of variance here. This is pretty good. And when people are asking about a site, it's obviously not declining. It's something that's steady, and in this case, increasing now slightly, back-to-back months. Ilya, what else would you say here? 100% of the revenues AdSense. Have you ever thought of making money somehow additionally on the site?
I thought of adding tools like credit card recommendation tools or certificate of deposits recommendation tools, stuff like that. Basically going directly with the banks and selling their services. But I haven't had the time to implement any of this. But there's definitely room to grow in terms of revenue, because this is purely monetized with AdSense at the moment. And regarding revenue, this it's projected to rise a little bit more for next month as well. So
You're just having that good of an April thus far?
yes, exactly.
Great.
Yeah,
Okay. Straight line expense here. This is just hosting. Is that right?
that's right. It's just VPS server hosting basically
Will you
with a back.
transfer the server? Transfer the hosting account, I should say?
I'm not sure if that's actually possible. If it is, then I'll definitely do that. If it's not, then we'll do a migration. It shouldn't be a problem. It should take a few
Okay.
hours.
Just wanted to address that right there. It's good. Here's where also, when you're done talking about this, I'm going to put myself on mute again. I'm going to forward a couple slides from here. And this is just where you answer questions that are on the screen here. And at the end, if I have any questions that have asked, I'll key them in or
Mhm.
I'll tell you about them. But when you're done talking about what's on the screen, just tell me to advance. I do want to preface this by saying, if you would, Ilya, tell us a
Mhm.
little bit about your background. What's your skill set? Did you develop the site from scratch, from Ruby on Rails? Did you do all this? Because an hour of my time is worth less maybe than an hour of your time, given, depending on what we're doing. So just kind of go into your background and tell us what you do day to day.
Actually, my background is in electrical engineering. I have a degree in electrical engineering, but I've never actually worked as an engineer. So programming is pretty much a hobby for me. Um, I haven't. I'm not the one that implemented this application. I collaborated with a programmer. He's based in the U.S. and um, he's uh, he's really skilled and he's helpful. And any potential buyer will they won't have a problem collaborating with him because it's basically his application. I didn't write the site. Um, as to the day-to-day operations, um, it's really simple. There's no day-to-day operations. Once a week for about 4 or 5 hours, I take maybe 4 hours at a time to do the branch updates and approve the branch reviews. That's pretty much it. And that's the 4 hour figure is pretty conservative, but usually it takes um, a lot less time to do it. In terms of site growth and terms of traffic, um, I believe there's a Google update coming up in April, uh, a mobile version ranking update. Since many competitors in the space don't have a mobile site, mobile optimized version, I believe traffic will increase this month just due to the fact that Best Branch does have a mobile version. Uh, Future expectations in terms of revenue, as I've said before, there would need to be some kind of new functionality to grow revenue, uh, basically direct deals with the banks for to sell their services, basically. Um, Please tell us where you're selling the site. Um, I'm actually focusing on another project and a new project for which, first of all, I need financing. Second of all, I need time, so I don't have time to dedicate to expand the functionality of Best Branch. And as I've said, I also need the financing for this new project.
Ilya, thank you. And not to this is a compliment on an AdSense site that was developed on Ruby on Rails that's been around for a few years, that has stable revenue, and it's not buying traffic. There's really not much to talk about. It's kind of a what you see is what you get. That's a positive thing. It's not overly complicated. It really opens up the possibility of a lot of buyers buying it. So that's a positive.
Mhm.
And the reason I preface it like this, these things normally take about 45 minutes or less. We're right at 30 minutes right now, so slightly under 30 minutes. So you've done a
Mhm.
great job. I'll do a last call for questions. Um, Letting everybody know this recording will be up on Latona's within 24 hours. Reach out to me. This is me, my name, my cell phone, voicemail fine, email address, Skype. Invite me, I'll accept you, and we can talk about it. Ilya's been very responsive as it relates to questions, as it relates to once someone has signed an NDA, adding someone to Google Analytics. So we do have a few people looking at the site right now. I can definitely um, get questions answered for you quickly. So Ilya, not abnormal. You did a great job, and we're done. So I really appreciate your time right now. March data is in on the Latona's listing right now. Everyone listening, reach out to me here if you have any questions. Ilya, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, everyone.
Have a great night.
You too. Thank you.